Right. Good afternoon, students. Once again, welcome back to PLUTUS IAS. Right. So we are continuing with the history discussion. So today we'll start with modern history first. Modern history. So as you know, in the last two sessions, we have discussed the ancient history and art and culture topics. Right. Right. So in continuation, there is a slight change. I thought of discussing the medieval questions first, but because their number is very less, we will see them in the last. So first, we will see the modern history. Then we will go to in the end, we will go to the medieval history. So just I want to remind you that before going into the discussion, just remember the three aspects, like the number of questions are being asked from each and every subject, right? Next is the specific areas from where the questions are being asked, and third one is whether they are fact based questions or analytical questions. So these three checkpoints you should have while we are discussing these things, like previous 10 years questions, right? So first we will see the questions of 2023. Right, first question is, by which one of the following acts was the governor of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India? So the act you know very well. It is with the Charter Act of 1833. The Governor General of Bengal. Sorry, the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India. Sorry, I misread the question earlier. So with the Charter Act of 1833, the Governor General of Bengal, the nomenclature has been changed from Governor General of Bengal to Governor General of India, and subsequently you will also see the shift of capital from Bengal to, or Calcutta to be specific, shift of capital from Calcutta to New Delhi subsequent to this event. So correct option is option D, Charter Act of 1833. So remember that along with within the Charter Act of 1833, there are some reforms related to education also. So in 1813, the initiative has been taken regarding the education, and in 1833 we will see actual implementation. Some funds are being allocated and some steps are being taken in the education sector or segment also. Right. Next question, question number 2. With reference to Indian history, Alexander Rea, A.H. Longhurst and Robert Sewell and James Burgess and Walter Elliot were associated with which of the below? So you know very well, it is they have involved in the archaeological excavations. So because of their efforts only, the Indus Valley civilization has been found out, and many other civilizations like the caves in Ajanta, many other aspects related to history have been found out. So complete subject arose, that is histography, that is the study of history. So they have even at the time only, during the Britishers time only, the ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, it has been established, and it has been forefront in all doing all these excavations and finding out the history of India. Right. So they are involved in the archaeological excavations. Right. Next question, question number 3. Right. Consider the following statements. Right. Statement 1. 7th August is declared as the National Handloom Day. Right. So statement 2. It was in 1905 or 1905 that the Swadeshi movement was launched on the same day. So you can see this is a correct statement. 7th August is the National Handloom Day, and it was in the 1905 that on the same day the Swadeshi movement has burned. You know why we can say handloom has given that much important? Because the major theme in the Swadeshi was boycott of what? Boycott of foreign goods. Right? In that foreign good, the majority good that was, or predominant good that was coming to India is the cotton, or we can say for that matter textiles. So the textile manufactured in the companies of companies of UK, England, it is being dumped in India. So people have been asked to boycott the foreign goods, especially the aspects like daily use aspects like cotton, right, textiles. So afterwards also, after this movement, afterwards also, when Gandhiji came to the scene, he used textiles and handloom as a weapon. He literally turned handloom, the charka, into a weapon in the fight against the British rule. So the answer is answer A, or correct option is option A. Both the statements 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of the statement 1. Right. So you will see only 3 questions that are being asked in the 2023 examination from modern India. So you can say the patronage for history is going down. If you see the UPSC examination, especially prelims examination, year after year you will see less and less number of questions from the history subject. So however, we will go to the next year's question, 2022 questions. So question is, in the Government of India Act of 1919, the functions of the provincial government were divided into reserved and transferred subjects. Which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? In the 1919 Act, as they have promised during the First World War, a form of self-government will be improved. So at the provincial level, they have introduced a particular kind of government. We can say that it has the dual government or diarchy. So where there will be official members, those will be Britishers, and apart from that they will be Indian ministers. Indian ministers will be there. Some members of the provincial legislature only, they will be appointed as ministers, and the subjects at the provincial level. First, there is a division of subjects at the center and state, province level. Within the provincial level, again there are the subjects have been divided, and some have been named as the transferred subjects. So these subjects have been transferred to Indians, and some subjects have been reserved. These are known as reserved subjects, and they have been held up by the British officials. So have you wondered how this division was done? So majorly the subjects involving expenditure, that are associated with expenditure, spending of money, like construction of canals, allocations for the poor, taking care of poor, education, etc. All these are transferred because they are involved with the expenditure of money. And many unimportant areas which are not that important, they have been transferred to Indians, and which are powerful, like taxation, etc., finance, taxation, and the things which are very important and which are involved with the collection of money, those have been reserved and retained with the Britishers. So this type of system they have created. It is a very big failure, and because of that reason it has been withdrawn during the 1935 Act, Government of India 1935. So this system has been withdrawn, right? So you see, what are the subjects that have been placed in the or reserved subjects? We will see administration of justice, because it is important, it has been retained. Local self-government, at that time it was not that important, and that too it is associated with expenditure of money, so it has been transferred to Indians. Land revenue, collection of land revenue, this is the primary source and a major source for the British, the United Kingdom, or if you are talking about East India Company is not there at that time. For the British government that is there in India, so this was the major income, so it is retained. Next, police, it is also something related with the law and order, so police has also been retained. Correct option is option C. 1, 3 and 4 are correct. So if you know the intention behind the Act, 1919 Act, the intention behind the transferred subjects and reserved subjects, you can easily guess the answer, right? So this is the question. Next question, question number 2. Right. Consider the following freedom fighters. Right. Barindra Kumar Ghosh, Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee, Rash Bihari Bose. So who of the above was or were actively associated with the Gadar party? So you know very well Rash Bihari Bose, he was actively associated with the Gadar movement. So Gadar party established in San Francisco, they have operated from there. So after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and there is one more incident, that is Komagata incident. Komagata incident. So when this incident has happened, you know many you will study about this incident in the history. So they were workers, they are migrant workers. They went to Canada for finding some work. Majority of them were Sikhs. So that ship they were traveling is Komagata Maru. The ship name is Komagata Maru. It is a Japanese name. It is a Japanese flagged ship. So they were traveling in that particular ship, especially Punjabis. So they were traveling, they went to Canada, but Canadian authorities, they have refused to receive them. They have not allowed them to these people into Canada. So they have to return with no other option. So when they are returning to India, so the ship has to come to Kolkata. So the British authorities have believed that the particular people, I mean the ship is carrying the nationalist leaders who are resorting to some radical events, like you know at that time revolutionary terrorism was on the rise and very much popular. So the British authorities somehow got the information that the terrorists were traveling, or revolutionary terrorists were traveling in this ship. So they have shot all the people who came out of that particular ship. So around 230 people like that, they have been died. That many people have died. Majority of them are Sikhs. So Gadar party is also, majority of the people in the Gadar party were Sikhs only. So with that they have decided that, Gadar party has decided that they should come to India, and they have prepared a plan. They have decided that we should go to India and we should start a revolution to overthrow the British government in India. So they have decided a plan and they have started coming to India one by one. They did not decide to come at once, one after the other. They have decided to come. However, within the ranks, some people have leaked the plan to Britishers. So Britishers beforehand knew that the Gadar party members are going to enter into India. So as and they came to India, the British authorities have captured them and put behind the bars. So the proposed revolution has been failed. But we can say it is a very, we can say great incident in the freedom fighting, the chapter of freedom fighting. You will study more about this Gadar party movement in the history classes. So the popular person associated with the movement is, among them, Rash Bihari Bose. He was associated. Right. Next question, question number 3. With reference to the proposal of Cripps mission, consider the following statements. So you know very well, Cripps mission happened around 1942. So you know, Second World War is raging severely. So in that, to get India is not willing to cooperate. So to get the support of Indians in the fight of Second World War, Britishers have sent this mission, that after the fight, World War is over, the proposal, that major proposal that was there in the Cripps mission is that after the completion of the World War, we will give dominion status to India. We will grant dominion status. So once, you know, before, during the 1920s, early 1920s, the dominion status was the demand of the national leaders or freedom fighters. So we have omitted that long back. We have made a Purna Swaraj revolution, I think around 1929, before launching the Salt Satyagraha. So we have demanded, what we have demanded, we have already demanded Purna Swarajya. Purna Swarajya means complete independence. What is dominion status? Dominion status is only a partial independence. We have only power in the internal aspects. We do not have power in the external aspects like foreign policy, etc., etc. Still the Britishers will be controlling that. So this has been outrightly rejected by the national leaders, including Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. You know, they have made famous statements with respect to Cripps mission. It is a complete failure, you know very well. Alright. So now we will see the statement. Statement 1. The Constituent Assembly would have the members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely states. Right. This statement is partially correct. Right. So nominated members will be there from the princely states. Right. So at that time, you know, some native rulers were there. They were ruling with the help of the Britishers, and some territories. For that matter, majority of the territory was under the direct control of the Britishers. So there they were known as provinces. They had assemblies. Those are known as provincial assemblies. So the proposal in the Cripps mission that from the provinces, British provinces, they will elect the members. Though the election will be indirect, still there will be election. So elected members will be sent to the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly supposed to write the Constitution for India. And the princely states will send the nominated members. Right? So this statement is partially correct. Next is, any province which is not prepared to accept the new Constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with Britain regarding its future status. Yes, this proposal was there. So this proposal was incorporated in the mission to appease the Muslim League. So Muslim League wanting a separate Pakistan. So to appease them, this particular proposal has been incorporated. So second statement is correct. Correct option is option B. Statement 2 only correct. Right. We will see the next question. Question number 4. Right. Question is, with reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. Right. The statements are, right, the Dutch established their factories or warehouses on the east coast on the lands granted to them by Gajapati rulers. So, right, this is an incorrect statement. The Dutch have established, the Gajapati rulers were ruling in the Odisha, but the Dutch rulers have established a majority of their settlements in coastal Andhra, just below the state of Odisha. Right? So this statement is incorrect. Right? They have established their centers at Masulipatnam, present day Machilipatnam, etc., etc. So not in Odisha. Next is, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. Yes, this statement is a correct statement. Alfonso Albuquerque, he captured Goa from the Bijapur, Sultan of Bijapur Sultanate. So Portuguese, Alfonso de Albuquerque is a Portuguese governor. Next is, the English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from the representative of the Vijayanagara Empire. So this is also correct statement. They have got the Madras. They have established a company or factory at Madras on a plot that they have land they have leased from a representative of Vijayanagara. Correct option is option B. Statements 2 and 3 are correct. Statement 1 is incorrect. Right. Next question. So right. So these are the questions from 2022. So here also you will see only 4 questions. You will see only 4 questions in the 2022. Again, fairly less number of questions. Now we will see the questions from 2021. Right. So first question, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Francis Xavier was one of the founding members of the Jesuit order. Yes, this is a correct statement. He was a famous, we can say, Christian. He was doing Christian missionary activities. He toured various parts of the world and he was promoting and propagating Christianity. So he followed the Jesuit order. Next statement is Francis Xavier died in Goa and a church is dedicated to him there. So this is incorrect statement. He died somewhere in China, not in India. Right? He died somewhere in the coastal part of China. Next is the feast of Saint Francis Xavier is celebrated in Goa each year. Yes, this is a correct statement. This is celebrated because once upon a time in his lifetime he also visited Goa. He visited Goa and he also preached and propagated Christianity there, and because to commemorate that it will be held. Right. Correct option is option B. Option C, 1 and 3 are correct, but 2 is not correct. Next statement, consider the following statements. Statement 1. The Montague-Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended granting voting rights to all women above the age of 21 years. So you can see this is completely incorrect statement. You know, voting rights to India, that to all women, it has been granted only after the independence. So when our own government has established, when we got independence, then only all the women, irrespective of their age, have, or we can say income, irrespective of any other discrimination except the age, like 21 years, everybody has given the voting right. So that happened only after the freedom. Second statement, the Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in legislature. Yes, this is a correct statement. The practice at that time was to give seats or reservation for seats community wise. Like you might have seen reservations first, they have given reservations for Muslims, right, in the 1909 Parliamentary reforms. Next, in the 1999 Montague-Chelmsford reforms, they have extended this to other classes like depressed classes, Sikhs, Christians, etc., etc. So, right. So next, also expanding that part in the 1935 Act, Government of India 1935 Act, they have given some reserved seats for women also, right. So this is the it is part, we can say it is part and parcel of the divide and rule policy. So statement 2 is correct, but statement 1 is incorrect, right. Question number 3, right. Question is, with reference to the 8th August 1942 in the Indian history, which one of the following statements are correct, right. So correct statement here is what had, you know very well, the Quit India movement has been started once the Cripps mission, just before we have seen or studied, has seen, right. So the Quit India resolution was adopted by All India Congress Committee, AICC. This is the correct statement. So the Congress ministries resigned from the 7 provinces. This happened immediately after the proclamation of the World War II. Right? It happened during the 1939 only. Right? Viceroy's Executive Council was expanded to include more Indians. So this also happened before 1942 only, again to get the support of Indians only. Right? Cripps proposed an Indian Union with the full dominion status once the Second World War is over. So we can say before this has also happened before the launch of Quit India movement only. So because of the failure or disappointing proposals of the Cripps mission, Mahatma Gandhi has decided that we should launch the Quit India movement and ask the Britishers to completely quit India. Right. Next question, question number 4. All right. Question is, who among the following is associated with the Songs from Prison, a translation of ancient India religious lyrics in English? So, you know, it is Mahatma Gandhi who has translated the ancient religious lyrics into English during his prison period, jail period. Right. Next question, question number 5. Who among the following was associated as a secretary with the Hindu female school, which later came to be known as the Bethune female school? So it is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, you know very well. He has established a school, school for the female. Later it came to be known as the Bethune female school. Right. So you should, in this way, you should be aware of the socio-religious reform movements and the leaders who have, spearheaded those particular movements like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Arya Samaj, Brahmo Samaj, Brahmo Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Arya Samaj, like that. So there are socio-religious reform movements were there, and with respect to particular leaders also, you should have considerable information at your disposal. Right. Next question, question number 6. In the context of colonial India, Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon are remembered as which of the below? So they are officers of the Indian National Army. So the INA trials have occurred. INA trials have occurred. Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. So you know, obviously they three of them belong to three different religions. If you see, Muslim, he belongs to Muslim religion. Prem Kumar Sehgal, he belongs to Hinduism, and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, he is a Sikh. So these are the major three religions in India, right? They have participated in the INA, Indian National Army mutiny, and after initial success, the mutiny has been a failure. Many of the soldiers have been caught, and many of them have surrendered. So the British India government, it has taken trials, and wantedly it has chosen the people from three religions to start with the trials. So in this way, it wanted to send a message to everybody in India, especially people of the major religions who are actually demanding the independence, that if you are going to take arms against us, we are going to punish you. So that was the message. But this also very well utilized by the Indian nationalists. So especially the Congress, Indian National Congress, it has well utilized this opportunity, and it has politicized the INA trials, that these people are innocent, they have fought for freedom of their country, and you should not punish them. So like that, you know very well that many of the Congress leaders have once again, they have taken their lawyer duty, they have taken their black cloak, and they have argued and participated in the INA trials. So end result is, the British wanted to send a strong signal to Indians that no Indian should take arms against the British rule in India, but the opposite of it has happened. So the INA trials, public sentiment completely turned against the Britishers in India. Right. Second thing is, no single soldier was convicted during these trials. Everybody was set free at the end of the day. And apart from that, other events, if you see, the Royal Navy mutiny in the Indian naval ratings. So this also made it clear that the Britishers are not at all in a position to hold India any longer. Right. So these three figures, they have associated with the Indian National Army. They are the officers of the Indian National Army. Right. Next question. Question number 7. With reference to Indian history, which of the following statements is or are correct? Right. Statement 1. The Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad state. So this is an incorrect statement. Nizamat of Arcot, it emerged out of the falling or dwindling Mughal state. However, it had the protection of the Arcot, had the protection of the Nizam, but it did not emerge from the Hyderabad state. Second statement, the Mysore kingdom emerged out of the Vijayanagara empire. Yes, this is a correct statement. It emerged out of the Vijayanagara empire. right? So Tipu Sultan, his father, so he overthrew the Udayar dynasty, which came to power after the decline of the Vijayanagara Empire. So that Udayar dynasty was captured by the father of Tipu Sultan. So in that way, Mysore kingdom emerged out of the Vijayanagara Empire only. Next is Rohilkhand kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. So this is also an incorrect statement. Actually, the Rohilkhand kingdom also emerged from the Mughal state only. When Mughal state was declining, Rohilkhand has emerged as an independent state, but later it was occupied by Rohilkhand. It was occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. Right. So once Rohilla state was formed, Rohilla kingdom was formed. After some time, Ahmad Shah Durrani, he occupied that kingdom. Correct option is option B. Only statement 2 is correct. Right. Question number 8. In the first quarter of the 17th century, in which of the following was or were the factory or factories of the English East India Company located? So, the time period, first quarter of 17th century will be the time period between 1600 to 1625. So this is the first quarter of 17th century. So at that time you will see Bharuch. It is a part of, somewhere in the Gujarat. So the British had the company. So slowly, as they have consolidated their power, they have came to other areas. So in the eastern coast, if you so this Bharuch is in Broch or Bharuch. Right now it is Bharuch. So it is in the western coast. And first they have at the eastern coast, they have established their company at Masulipatnam or Machilipatnam. Masulipatnam. So later it spread to many other areas. So during the 1600 to 1625, they have only had their port or warehouse at the Bharuch. Next, Chikakol, or now it is called as Srikakulam, and Trichinoppalli or Tiruchirappalli, later they have established their centers there. So correct option is option A. Only statement 1 is correct. Next statement. With reference to Madanpalli of Andhra Pradesh, which one of the following statements are correct? So, right. Right. So it is here Rabindranath Tagore translated the national anthem from Bengali to English here. So it's the answer says that. But Madanpalli is very much associated with the Theosophical Society also. So these people, Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott, they have also increasingly associated with that particular place, Madanpalli, in present day Rayalaseema state, Rayalaseema region of Andhra Pradesh. You will find that place. Right. Correct option is option C. So Rabindranath Tagore has translated his book there. Next question. So the national anthem of Rabindranath Tagore has been translated to English from Bengal there. Right. So these are the questions from 2021. So you will see fairly good number of questions here. 9 questions have been asked from modern Indian history. Right. So now we will see the questions from 2020. Right. Questions are, first question, in the context of Indian history, the Rakmabai case of 1884 revolved around which of the below? So first one, women's right to gain education. So it was not associated with this one. Statement 1 is incorrect. Next one, age of consent. Yes, this is something associated with the age of consent is something like, it is something related with the marriage, right? So girl should reach a particular age, then where she will be in a comfortable position, or she will have sufficient idea to make her mind about the marriage, right? So that is the age of consent. And next is restitution of conjugal rights. Right. So this is also correct statement. The particular case also revolved around this thing. So correct option is option B. Statements 2 and 3 are correct. So relatively, if you see comparatively very tough question, it is very difficult to know about these type of incidents. Right. Still, you should be in a position to answer these type of questions also. Right. Next is indigo cultivation in India declined by the beginning of the 20th century because of the which of the following. So the reason why indigo cultivation has declined in India by the end of the by the beginning of 20th century. So it is around 1900s or something like 1899, end of the beginning of the 20th century. So it is something around right. So something around 1910s, 1920s, etc., etc., between the period of 1900 to 1915, 1920, that period. So the reasons are its unprofitability in the world market because of the new inventions. You know why India was cultivating India, or there were European planters in India who have given loans to Indian farmers, and they were forcing Indian farmers to cultivate indigo because textile production was increasingly going on at that time. So they need indigo, the blue pigment, to color the textiles. So they were forcing the Indian farmers to cultivate that pigment. So that system you know very well, the Champaran Satyagraha, where Gandhiji was initially involved for the first time in a mass-based movement, that is also associated with the indigo movement only. And the system where the Indian farmers to grow, it is known as Teen Katiya, right? So 3 out of 20 parts in their land, the farmers have to grow indigo. So it was quietly uneconomical for the Indian farmers. That too, farmers are poor, they wanted to produce food grains, but the British planters were forcing and they were using force against the Indian farmers, and they were making Indian farmers to cultivate the indigo. So many interventions were there. The national leaders were, calling for stopping this practice, Teen Katiya system or cultivation of indigo, and national leaders were against that. Peasants also not ready to cultivate that. But actual reason which actually ended the practice of cultivation of indigo is this one. So by the early 20th century, new inventions came, like artificial colors have been invented. Artificial colors have been invented and they have come into the market, and the natural production, natural colors like indigo, they have no longer in demand, and the demand for them declined. So that because of that reason also the European planters went away from India. Apart from that, the all other reasons also correct. If you see openly, not associated with the stopping of actual reason for stopping of indigo cultivation. So peasant resistance was there to oppose the practice of oppressive conduct of planters. National leaders opposed that. Government control over the planters. Somehow the British government that was there at that time, it also tried to control the indigo cultivation. But still the things are here. The British planters were still able to force the farmers to cultivate until it became unprofitable. So that issue only, the invention of artificial colors could only stop the indigo cultivation in India. Right. Next, state question 3. Wellesley established the Fort William College of Kolkata because of which of the following? So the reason for establishing that college is he wanted to train the British civilians for administrative purpose in India. So he thought that before taking the job of administration in India, they should be somewhat knowing the administrative processes in India, and they should also know the laws and regulations that are there in India. So for that purpose, the Fort William College at Kolkata has been started. Right. Next question. With reference to the history of India, Ulgulan or the Great Tumult is the description of which of the following events? So it is the Birsa Munda revolt of 1899-1900. It is known as Ulgulan, or it is popularly known as Munda Ulgulan also. So this is Ulgulan is the name for revolution, something like that. So local language, it is the Munda tribes language. So Ulgulan, like that, you know the local names of the revolutions, or we can say revolts against the British, tribal revolts against the Britishers. So Munda Ulgulan, and Santal Kol is there. If you see the Santal rebellion, it is called as Santal Kol. Sorry, Santal Hal, Munda Ulgulan. So like that, some other names are also there. Try to know about them. Right. Next, question number 5. Which one of the following statements correctly explains the impact of the Industrial Revolution on India during the first half of the 19th century? So the impact that the issue that greatly impacted India at that time is Indian handicrafts were ruined because of the industrial revolution that has occurred in the British. So earlier handicraft crafts were there, artisans were there, they were producing the goods like textiles, other manufacturing processes they were doing. So once the companies, big factories have arisen or have been started in England, they were taking away the raw materials from India, and they were producing finished goods there, and they were dumping those finished goods in the India at cheaper prices. So because of that, Indian handicrafts were ruined. Right. So this is the correct option. Next question, question number 6. Right. So with reference to the book Deshar Katha, written by Sakharam Ganesh Deskar during the freedom struggle, consider the following statements. Right. So it warned against the colonial state hypnotic conquest of the mind. Yes, this is a correct statement. The particular book warned about this one. Second one is, it inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays, folks and folk songs. Yes, this is also correct statement with that one, Deshar Katha. Third statement, the use of Desh by Deuskar was in specific context of the region of Bengal. So this is incorrect statement. All right. I think it is something related with Desh is something related with Maharashtra, that is Maratha or Marathi language. Right. So this third statement is incorrect. Correct option is option A, only statements 1 and 2 are only correct. Next statement or next question. Right. So the Gandhi-Irwin Pact included which of the following? Right. So to answer this question, you should have the complete information about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. What are the things that are there and what are the things that are not there? Then only you can answer the question. First statement, invitation to Congress to participate in the round table conference. Yes, this is the general statement, you know very well. So because of this invitation only, the Mahatma Gandhi participated in the second round table conference. Next one, withdrawal of ordinances promulgated in connection with the civil disobedience movement. So yes, this is also part and parcel of it one, withdrawal of the ordinances promulgated in connection with the civil disobedience movement. So to stop the civil disobedience movement only, this particular Gandhi-Irwin Pact has been concluded. So it happened around 1932. Right. Next statement, acceptance of Gandhiji's suggestion for inquiry into police excesses. So this suggestion has been made by Gandhiji, but it has not been accepted by Irwin. So it is not part and parcel of the Irwin Pact. Next is release of only those prisoners who were not charged with violence. So this was also the part of the Irwin Pact. Gandhiji demanded that each and every person associated with civil disobedience, they should be released. But in the actual pact, the provision that is there, only people who are not charged with violence, only they have been released. So correct option is option B. Statements 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Right. Next question, question number 8. Right. Question is, so the Vithal Vidvansk, the first monthly journal to have the untouchable people as its target audience, was published by which of the below authors? So it is by Gopal Baba Walankar. So he started the publication, right? So Jyotiba Phule, you know, he is also very much associated with the backward classes, but it is not associated with him, not even with Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. So Gopal Baba Walankar, he has started that particular publication. So these are the questions in 2020. So 8 questions are being asked from the modern Indian history. Right. So still we can say it is a fair number of questions. Right. Question now we will see the questions from 2019. Right. First question, consider the following statements about the Charter Act of 1813. So it is question is about the Charter Act of 1813. Right. So statement 1, it ended the trade monopoly of the East India Company in India except for trade in India in tea and trade with China. Yes. You know, 1813 Act ended the monopoly of China, monopoly of East India Company in India. So what it means? It means any other company can come to India and can do the trade. Before the right has been granted exclusively to East India Company because it made efforts to negotiate with the Mughal rulers and get permissions to trade with India. So that was the reason, but because of the changed scenario, the monopoly of the East India Company has been ended. However, in 2 aspects it has been retained, monopoly has been retained. It is trade in tea and trade with China. Trade in tea, it was very profitable. Tea, East India Company was making very good profits by selling tea in India and bringing that tea from China. So in this way it is making very good profits. And what trade with China also, the East India Company not in a position to forego, because trade with China is also profitable. Right. So what East India Company was selling to people of China. Right. So it is the opium. Opium was being sold to Chinese. So they have been, most of the people have turned addicts to opium. So China was selling opium to Chinese, and in return it was purchasing tea from China, and that purchased tea is being sold to Indians. So Indians kind of became habituated or little bit addicted to tea. So in this way it was East India Company was making huge profits in this area. If you see overall its performance is not good. After some time it kind of became making losses. If you see overall trade of the East India Company, right, somewhere it went to even into bankruptcy also, but in 2 areas it was making profits. One thing is trade with China, it was selling opium in China and it was buying tea from there, and trade with India. So it was selling tea in India and was making huge profits. So it was able to retain these 2 in the 1813 Charter Act. So this statement is correct. Next statement. It asserted the sovereignty of British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. So to certain extent it is correct. The company in principle agreed the British sovereignty over the territories held by it in the India. Right. Next statement 3. The revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. So this is an incorrect statement. Still the revenues are in the hands of the Board of Directors only. Right. Board of Directors of the East India Company. So this change has occurred only after the 1858 Act. Right. So 1858 Government of India, 1858 Act only Government of India Act, we can call it as. So with that act only, the financial matters, revenues of India have been went to into the hands of the British Parliament. So this statement is incorrect. Correct option is option A. Only statements 1 and 2 are correct. Right. So next question. Next question. Sorry. Right. Question number 2. With reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. Right. Statement 1. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. Yes. So this is correct statement with the Swadeshi movement. So what has started as a movement against the partition of Bengal, it advocated Swadeshi kind of self-production, production within India, and boycott of foreign goods like textiles, etc. Any good that is made in the foreign country and it is coming to India. So it contributed to the revival of indigenous artisan crafts and industries, because Swadeshi was the mantra and people were encouraged to purchase the native goods, indigenously produced goods. So this is correct. Second statement. The National Council of Education was established as a part of Swadeshi movement. Yes, this is also correct statement. So as part of boycott, people have been asked to even boycott the foreign education also. Foreign education and Swadeshi or native schools have been started. Native schools, native colleges have been started. So to you can say look after them or to regulate them properly, the National Council of Education (NCE) was established to oversee all these aspects. Right. So statement 2 is also correct. Correct option is option C. Both the statement 1 and 2 are correct. Right. Next question. Question number 3. Consider the following pairs. Right. So pair is first pair is about movement or organization. Next pair is about leader, associated leader. So first statement is first pair is All India Anti-Untouchability League. So it is started by Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, this is the correct statement. You may confuse with the B.R. Ambedkar, but he has started some other organization like Depressed Classes Association. That was the organization started by B.R. Ambedkar for the welfare of the depressed classes, Dalits. Right, first pair is correct. All India Kisan Sabha, it is leader, major popular leader is Swami Sahajanand Saraswati. So this is also a correct pair. Swami Sahajananda Saraswati is started, he has started the All India Kisan Sabha. Next is self-respect movement, Naikar. So it is started by E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. So this is also a correct pair. Correct option is option D. Statements 1, 2, 3. All the statements are correct. Right. So next question. Question number 4. Right. Question is with reference to the British colonial rule in India. Consider the following statements. Right. Statement 1. Mahatma Gandhi was instrumental in the abolition of the system of indentured labor. So this is a correct statement. Indentured labor. No, labor, he will be providing labor in perpetuity. So it is something akin to the slavery only. So he played a seminal role in abolition of the indentured labor. Mostly you will see this kind of labor associated with the tea plantations. So mostly you will see in the plantations indentured labor. So they will be permanently tied with that plantation area of the plantation. Right, this is correct statement. Next one is Lord Chelmsford's War Conference. Mahatma Gandhi did not, in Lord Chelmsford's War Conference, Mahatma Gandhi did not support the resolution on the recruiting Indians for the World War. So this is incorrect statement. Gandhi supported, not directly we can say supported, but he do not had objections if the Britishers wanted to recruit Indians for the World War. Right? So it is incorrect statement. Statement 3. Consequent upon the breaking of salt law by the Indian people, the Indian National Congress was declared illegal by the colonial rulers. Yes. So immediately once the SALT laws have been broken, Indian National Congress has been declared as an illegal organization. Right. So this is the correct statement. Option B is the correct. Statement 1 and 3 are correct. Right. Next question. Question number 5. With reference to the national movement, consider the following statements. Consider the following pairs. The pairs are person, position held are given. Sir Tej Bahadur Sapru, he was the president, All India Liberation Federation. Yes, this is a correct pair. Tej Bahadur Sapru. Next is KC Niyogi, member, the Constituent Assembly. This is also a correct statement. PC Joshi, General Secretary, Communist Party of India. So all the pairs given are correct. So you should be in a position to not only know about the organizations during the national movements, but you should also know the important personalities associated with those movements. Right. So correct option is option D. Statements pairs 1, 2, 3, all of them are correct. Right. So right. So 5 questions have been asked in 2019. Right. So still we can say it is a less number of questions only. That too, most of them are factual questions. Right. So right. Now we will see the questions from 2018. So in 2018 you will see relatively more number of questions. So approximately I think more than 10 questions. The number is high only. That many number of questions have been asked. We will see the questions. Right. So first question, consider the following statements or consider the following events. The first democratically elected communist government. Right. The first democratically sorry for the inconvenience. We will end the class here. Tomorrow we will try to discuss the questions from 2018 onwards. Right. So tomorrow in one more sessions, 1 or 2 sessions, we will try to complete the history topics. Right. Thank you for joining the class. See you next time. Until then, have a good day. Right. See you.